Hello dear students, hope you are staying safe, staying at home, maintaining the protocols of social distancing and then personal hygiene, boosting your immunity in the wake of this current situation. Now I am going to discuss a small topic in special senses, particularly in vision. Let's start with the concept of reduced eye. Now, it's also called reduced eye of Listing because it's named after the person Listing, or it's also called as schematic eye or mathematical model of the eye. Now, what's the concept? The simplified model of the eye or schematic model of the eye is needed for understanding of the errors of refraction and understanding how the image formation does form or does not form on the retina. So, let me first tell you how is the actual functioning of the eye in terms of image formation. This is a cross-sectional view of the eyeball. So, here is an object placed in front of the eye. Now, light rays coming from the eye, from that object, I beg your pardon, they are now going to enter the eye and the image will be formed on the retina over here. So, we have the cornea, then there is aqueous humor. So, this part filled with the aqueous humor. Light rays will pass through the pupil. This is the pupillary aperture. The light rays pass through that. Then there is a crystalline lens inside the eye, and behind the lens there is vitreous humor or vitreous body, and finally the light rays fall on the retina. Now that is what happens normally. But this is very complicated thing to understand, complicated model. You know why? Because as the light rays coming from an object, we are looking at this object, the light rays coming from the object as they are entering the eye, before they reach the retina and form the image on the retina, there will be refraction of those light rays. You know, whenever the light rays from one medium enter another medium, there is bending of the light rays and it's called as refraction. So, in our case, in the case of the eye, refraction will occur at four different places. What are those places? Look, first is the anterior surface of the cornea, because light rays were traveling from the air, now they are entering the cornea. Next, they will leave the cornea from the posterior surface and they will enter the aqueous humor. So, again change of medium. So, at the posterior surface of the cornea, again there will be refraction of the light rays. Then, from the aqueous humor, they are going to enter the lens. Again there will be refraction at the anterior surface of the lens. Then they pass through the lens, and from the posterior surface of the lens, they will exit the lens and enter the vitreous humor. Again there will be refraction because again there is change of medium, and finally they will reach the retina. So, normally refraction occurs at four different planes or four different places: anterior surface of the cornea, posterior surface of the cornea, then anterior surface of the lens and posterior surface of the lens. 4 times there is going to be the change in the medium. Now this is very complicated. So, to understand, and just let me add one more point. Out of all these refractions, maximum refraction, greatest refraction of the light rays will occur at the anterior surface of the cornea. Why is that? because the refraction of the light rays will depend on the difference in the refractive indices between the two media. Light rays from one medium is entering another medium. So, two different media, refraction occurring. But how much refraction occurs depends on the difference in the refractive indices between the two media. If that difference is larger, the refraction of the light rays will be greater. And therefore, out of all these media, refractive media, maximum refraction is going to occur at the anterior surface of the cornea. When the light rays from the air are entering the cornea, maximum refraction will occur because the greatest difference of refractive indices between air and the cornea. Rest of the media have very close refractive indices in the range of 1.32 to 1.40, in that range. But considering refractive index of air is 1, so maximum difference is between air and the cornea. Now, having said all this, it's a complicated model. So, in order to understand and have a simplistic view of this model, we have that schematic eye or reduced eye or a simplistic version of the eye. Some people also call this mathematical model of the eye. What is that reduced eye? All these four planes of refraction are algebraically added to consider only a single plane of refraction. Okay. So, how do we take that schematic eye or reduced eye? All four planes of refraction added algebraically to have one single plane of refraction, and that plane of refraction is said to be about 1.4 millimeter behind the posterior surface of the cornea. This is the posterior surface of the cornea. So, just 1.4 millimeter behind the posterior surface of the cornea. Just a diagrammatic presentation. Single plane of refraction will be considered this one. After algebraically adding all four planes, we will consider only a single plane of refraction. So, this is the plane for refraction, and the other things about that schematic eye will be the nodal point of eye, nodal point for the refraction. What is the nodal point? When the light rays pass through the nodal point, there is no bending, no refraction of the light rays. So, if we consider that the length of the entire eyeball is about 24 millimeters, then nodal point of the eye, the schematic eye, is said to be 17 millimeters in front of the retina, 17 millimeters in front of the retina, somewhere here, okay, or 7 millimeters behind the anterior surface of the cornea, you can say. So, here is a 7 millimeters and 17 millimeters. That is where the nodal point of such a reduced eye or schematic eye is present. So, two things I have mentioned so far: the principal plane of refraction in such a schematic eye, single plane we will consider instead of all those four surfaces. They were algebraically added to have one single plane of refraction, which is just about 1.4 millimeters actually behind the cornea, behind the posterior surface of the cornea, that is in the aqueous humor, as you can see here. Then the nodal point of the eye, nodal point of such a schematic eye is 7 millimeters behind the cornea or 17 millimeters in front of the retina. Total length of the eyeball is 24 millimeters. And the third point is the total refractive power of such an eye, simplistic model of the eye. The total refractive power would be 59 diopters. 59 diopters would be the total refractive power of this schematic eye. Now, considering the crystalline lens inside the eye has got a refractive power of 18 diopters. So, 41 diopters by the cornea and 18 diopters by the crystalline lens, and the total dioptric power of this reduced eye is 59 diopters. So, that is a simplistic model called as reduced eye or schematic eye, simplistic model. This is just to consider how the image formation normally occurs on the retina, and in errors of refraction, the image formation would not occur on the retina. So, let us also consider two more points. One is, what is ametropia or ametropic eye? Ametropic eye or ametropia means the normal eye, in which the image formation occurs exactly on the retina. So, this is the object placed in front of the eye. The parallel rays coming from such an object enter the eye and they will form an image exactly on the retina. And as you are aware, the image is inverted, an inverted image formed on the retina. So, the normal eye is ametropic. That is the ametropia or ametropic eye, image formation occurring exactly on the retina. The image can be seen, the object can be seen clearly. Right. Whereas, what is ametropia? Ametropia means when there is error of refraction. Error of refraction, so that image formation does not occur on the retina. Either it occurs in front of the retina or it occurs behind the retina. Either the image will be formed in front of the retina or it will be formed behind the retina, and therefore the object cannot be seen clearly. So, that will be called as ametropia. So, simply speaking, errors of refraction will fall under this name called as ametropia. Now, what are the various types of ametropia, or what are the various types of errors of refraction? Why would the error occur? Why the image would not form on the retina? There are three types or three reasons why the image will not form on the retina. One is called as curvature ametropia. Curvature ametropia. So, in this type of error of refraction, there is a change in the curvature of this refractive media, change in the curvature of the lens or the cornea, and therefore refractive power has got altered and the image will not be formed on the retina. So, that is called as curvature ametropia. For instance, let us say presbyopia, for example, curvature of the cornea or lens is altered and the image formation will not occur exactly on the retina. Second type is called as index ametropia. Index ametropia. Now, in this type, refractive index of the media is altered. Refractive index of the lens, for instance, is changed, altered, and therefore image formation does not occur on the retina. Presbyopia, for example, What happens is lens protein is hardened after the certain age, after the age of 40, and since lens capsule is hardened, lens protein is coagulated, therefore lens is not that flexible anymore. In such a scenario, refractive index of the lens will be altered, or lens cannot change its curvature. Normally its refractive index has been changed. This will result in index emmetropia. And the third one is axis emmetropia. Axis emmetropia, or error of refraction because of something wrong with the axis. Now this is the axis, visual axis from the cornea, and this is the retina. If there is change in the length of this axis, change in the length of this axis, change in the length of the eyeball, for instance, eyeball has become horizontally oblong in shape, like this. So in that case, image is forming in front of the retina, or it is vertically oblong like this. This is just a diagrammatic representation to make you understand the difference. So this will be called as axis emmetropia, when length of this eyeball has altered. Let me just end this topic by saying that at birth the child suffers from axis hypermetropia, or axial hypermetropia, or axis hypermetropia. Well, we have not discussed the errors of refraction yet. So in the subsequent video, the next video, we will discuss the errors of refraction, myopia, hypermetropia, presbyopia, astigmatism, and so on. So, but that was a very short topic related to the vision, the reduced eye simplistic model, and the errors of refraction and their types.